Friends, hello, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day. So we're here today. Oh, do we have an announcement? No, but we are here today to talk about NHL 25. Quick recap, kind of gather our thoughts, gather others' thoughts on what we've been seeing with this game so far this season. Just again, would be interesting to see if our thoughts are aligning here. For me, it's been a while, and I gotta be careful. But this might be my favorite game to play, gameplay-wise, at least in my memory, at least since NHL 17. I really like the way NHL 17 was put together on the ice. Thought that was well. And you notice the game balancing a lot better when you're playing versus or when you're playing WoC Chel, because the thing with Hut, and I always try to remind people of this, when you're playing Hut, like this year, everybody's like, oh, the gameplay's great, or oh, the gameplay's bad, it's too slow, it's too, whatever. The thing that's really difficult with Hut is we have to remember, and this is why it feels like it changes after 2 months so much, when people are like, oh, the tuner changed so much. Well, the thing is, when you start with an 80, like right now, everybody's got a bunch of 80 overalls, a bunch of 82 overalls in Hut. 2 months from now, you're going to have a bunch of 89, 90s. That's a plus 10. You imagine a plus 8 to 10 on your speed, a plus 8 to 10 on your shot. It's 4 months from now, 94s, 95s. You're taking that slider from 50 and moving it to 65, 70, just based on attributes. It's ever so important to remember that. And that's what's difficult about tuning the game for Hockey Ultimate Team. Because I've typically in the past, if you this again personal opinion, I'd love to hear others' thoughts on this. Typically, you don't see as drastic of changes in the WoC Chel gameplay compared to the Hut gameplay, and I think that's got a lot to do with it. Because it's always like, why did they affect the tuner in Hut and not or Chel? It's like, well, it's got a lot to do with your players. Some more superstar abilities, more X factor abilities. It changes the game a lot when you have all that stuff compared to a WoC Chel. Your player's always that 80, 81 overall kind of player all season, because that's all you can work with the attributes. That being said, though, again, I've really liked the gameplay so far this year. I feel like you're getting a lot more interceptions defensively. You can make plays defensively, whilst also not just getting bumped and flown off. You're flying off the puck, but you're also not just getting bumped and going nowhere. It just feels like the game's much more defensive oriented, but it's also a little bit slower and there's a little bit more space. We looked at the gameplay to start the year. It looked like the players are a little bit smaller. It could be a thing. And that's a thing where your players are small, the ice is big, whatever you want to call it. It does create a little bit more open ice, a little bit more space to make plays. And if you slow the game down whilst also doing that, it does make the game a little more exciting, I think, where you have a little bit more space to work with. And you're able to, again, promote cycling the puck, not being able to force one-timers, playing, good old-fashioned puck moving, redirecting, whatever you got to do, shooting, good old-fashioned hockey. And also being able to properly defend without just having somebody force a pass right through you every single time. So I really, through the years, this has been my favorite one so far. Definitely the first time and I might just be getting back into playing more, but it's definitely the first time in a while I've been just itching to jump on a game and play, Been enjoying it. Big 10 of 10. Wow, franchise mode's been great as well. I love the additions. The no movement clauses, the new user interface, all this stuff added the franchise mode. I thought that was a big deal this year, just adding more depth. And I was just thinking about this earlier. There's a lot of depth in this game. I know we kind of, we nitpick things year in and year out and say, well, this hasn't changed, this hasn't changed. But I think there is 4 bona fide game modes that get a lot of user base. And if you think about that compared to other games, there's not a lot of games like that where you have 4 game modes that are generating that sort of user base across the board with that kind of depth. We got the Be a Pro overhaul a couple years ago. Again, I know a lot's not changed since then, but that's you kind of expect that when you have that big of an overhaul. What we're seeing on EA more, it's like we're overhauling one game mode at a time, year after year, making big changes to that one, which I like that. Might as well put a bunch of time and investment into one game mode and upgrade it compared to just making a couple small changes to everything every year, because then it's just, I don't know, you just don't see as much of it. Again, it's not as impactful. So I like what they've done these last few years. I really do. But again, franchise mode, I thought that's been really nice. Be a Pro. I don't play as much Be a Pro, so I can't speak as much as others can on it. I know there's still some bugs, some issues with that. But again, I do like that they've, the overhaul in general is a big thing. And Hockey Ultimate Team, the final game mode we got to talk about. Again, I actually, we didn't even talk about WoC Chel. I like WoC Chel. That's what we've been playing most of so far this year. Been enjoying playing it. Again, the gameplay's been great. When the gameplay's great, WoC Chel is great. And it's nice also they have a reward path this year where you can get some NHL points for Hockey Ultimate Team to spend, or you can spend on your player in that as well. So I think that's great as well. But I do like it. I like the customization. I like the unlockable stuff. Kind of different seeing all the boosts unlocked to start the year. I'm kind of a fan of it because I feel like I have so much more flexibility to start the year. Usually I'm like, oh, we have something to grind for to unlock. But a lot of the times it was, random when you did unlock it. Some of it was not so random. Some of the stuff was. And I just feel like starting out the beginning of the year, I'm just so much more enticed to, tinker around with my builds, not being like, do I have this unlocked, do I have this unlocked? So I kind of think, I'm going to give EA the props here and say I like that move. As much as I'm pro grind, I'd still like to see something impactful for grinding. I'm not sure what that could be. But going to Hockey Ultimate Team, this is the big one where I, without question, played it less this year. We got into the early access. I said, hey, you know what? When the game comes out, we'll play it more. Because here's the dilemma. I tweeted about it the other day. I was trying to explain it the best I could. The dilemma we're having on Hockey Ultimate Team, you get onto Hockey Ultimate Team, the first thing you see is, wow, these packs are really expensive. Why would anybody buy these packs? When you have a bunch of content creators partner with EA very vocally, and no disrespect to anybody, right? But very vocally saying there's something wrong here. When you got that much outpour of people saying there's something wrong here, that EA messed up with the price of packs and the contents. It's just the price is so expensive, the contents are so low, where it's like, this ain't worth it. We're just going to be free to play. And when you're free to play, then you say, okay, well, what can we do to be free to play? And the rewards just aren't there. You have an XP reward path, no rivals, no squad battles. So the rewards aren't there. People aren't opening packs, which is causing prices to inflate. This might be, I'm not to get ahead of it, but this might be a year, honestly, where we're back to, NHL 14, NHL 15 days when you had 500-600K players all the time. 500 to a million was just normal. It wasn't just a fantasy hockey player. That could be, what we're coming to, just because there's just not enough players being released. People are eventually going to get the coins, but the players aren't being released, flooding the market from packs, because people just ain't opening the packs. And not only are they not opening them, they're just not as potent in the packs. But this is the thing I was bringing it up. It's like, okay, so we can't buy packs. A lot of people are saying we ain't going to buy packs. It's just not worth it. You can't buy the rewards. It's like, oh, the rewards just ain't there. It's not worth it. Which means now how do we make coins? Well, Hut Champs, which can be a rather intense mode. We'll see what the rewards are at some point. And you can work the market. But with everybody, flooding the market, it makes it even harder to work the market. It's already very difficult. It's a very skilled thing to do. A lot of credit to the ones that grind it out, make some good coins on the auction house. As somebody that does it a lot, it is difficult to get a lot of buys because you're going up against everybody, especially now that they have both consoles on one marketplace. It's difficult. And the more and more people that flood it just make it more difficult. So it's like, it can be very frustrating. So for me, I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm saying, well, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't want this. I'm just going to play World of Chel. I'm going to go play a different game. That is the big concern for me with Hockey Ultimate Team, where it's at that point where it's just, for me personally, it's easy for me just to walk away and just not want to play it. And I worry if that's, if I'm in a very big minority there, if there's other people. I've seen some people say the same thing. It's like, I just haven't been playing as much this year. And that worries me a little bit, where they're pushing the user base away. And, once you get behind some people, it's hard to get back into it once you get behind to start the year. Some people get back into it, bang them out of real quickly, a bunch of players. That's my biggest concern. But otherwise, I do like, you added the XP reward path. I thought that was great. You added a revamped draft champions kind of thing to an extent there. I thought that was kind of cool as well. You're getting rewards there from the objectives. The objectives are giving you more coins this year. There's a lot of things to like. It's just, there's two things you can do if you're, as far as I'm concerned, with the Ultimate Team. You either make the sets far cheaper, or you don't need all these players because you're just not getting as many players that cost more, or you have to add more rewards to the game. Whether it be squad battles or it be rivals. Again, great concept of the XP reward path. But to complement that, not to take the book out of MLB The Show, but you have the programs where you kind of, you're working towards your XP reward path, your overall XP reward path, but then you're also working towards something else with these game modes, where it's not everything's the same thing for the reward path, but you might be working towards, I don't know, score 20 goals or score 50 goals or take 10 leagues or, win X amount of games or complete this with this player, certain player challenges that can only be done in this game mode or this game mode, or more XP in this game mode or this game mode. That way you kind of diversify and say, all right, there's other things I'm working for this game mode. I understand. And I think it's a good thing for the player base where they're pushing away from having all these packs and rewards, because it just, again, it makes the game very pack oriented, opposed to, packs just kind of being a little niche, a little addition, a little reward. And you can earn your players without needing to buy packs. I think that's an excellent way to go about things. make it an option. People want to spend money on packs, do it. And a lot of people will, a lot of people enjoy it. Opening packs is great. But the end goal, like the line A thing, the 87 line A and the XP World Path, I love that. That's perfect. Now it's going to take 50 days, but if you can have other programs like that where it's like, okay, earn this 85 in this program, or earn this 86 in this path, or 88 in that path, I would love that. I think that'd be an easy alternative. People would have to obviously adjust, see how it goes, but it'd be a great alternative to kind of sliding away from just releasing a billion packs every week from playing all these games. And again, that's the the thing is there's no rewards, but the beauty is I think a lot of people kind of got burnt out too, because you had to play all these squad battles games, you had to play all these rivals. You could play 50 rivals games, you could play 48 squad battles games, 20 hut champion games. You can't keep up with all of them. That was a lot for a week to get really good rewards. So it was a lot of grinding. But it was grinding that was definitely, paid off for those that played the game a lot. But there's a lot to keep up with. So maybe having another alternative where you don't have to play the game that much to get great players, it would be a big W. We'll see what EA does moving forward. I would imagine we're going to see an adjustment here just by the amount of people that are upset with it. And I would imagine just by the amount of people not buying packs. I think it's a telltale story when you go into auction houses and you see how expensive these cards are. They're going up. They usually don't go up on a release day. They don't go, not the cheap ones. When silvers are going from 1,500 to 3,500 on release day, that's a sign people aren't buying packs, because typically those are the first things to tank, and they will bounce back down the road when people aren't buying as many packs. But when they go up, that's a sign they ain't buying packs. So we'll see what happens. Nonetheless, would love to hear y'all's thoughts on this. As always, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate you liking and subscribing. You never have to. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.